Hey, target individuals. This is Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine. It is Monday morning, and I'm not sure what the date is. It is October the 10th. I haven't made a video in a while, so I wanted to go ahead and make a video. Lots of things have been happening in the TI community. I guess one really important thing on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday or Thursday? Yes, it was Thursday. Kirk Wiebe and Bill Benny were on a talk show call on Ellis talk show call, and so they told their story about whistleblowing, about kind of government corruption, and how they were trying to to get it out, to get information that they had about 9/11, and nobody really wanted to hear it. They also, Kirk Wiebe, they both wrote a lot of software for the government, where for the NSA, which could catch the bad guys, but had filters in it, so it wouldn't encroach upon innocent people's lives. And the government and NSA and third party contractors kind of rejected their software and then put out software that didn't have any filters, because they really didn't care about the innocent people that's lives would be encroached upon. And so it's ironic how their stories kind of led to a lot of things that are happening to targeted individuals now. And it was the call was just very uplifting. They believe us what's happening, and they're trying to help us to find ways to get evidence. And to stop the attacks and stop the torture and the illegal surveillance. I think I got some goo on my camera, but right now I'm gonna try and put that interview up. Ella did a great job. Like, the conference calls are just I think for a while it was kind of hard because a lot of perps. I think that goo or just a reflection. I think a lot of perps were getting on the calls and making them really bad, and it's still, there's still some people, trolls and perpetrators who get on there and make the calls bad, but they're a lot. The calls are not a joke now. Ella's getting some big guests, and we have a lot of good coping calls for defense, coping skills. So you really want to get on those calls. There's like there's a call every night. There's one Wednesday for meditation and positive thinking and learning about our brain, and the equipment they're using and positive ways to defeat it. Ella's just like an awesome, like she came in and she's getting all these really big guests. Kirk Wiebe and Bill Benny are huge whistleblowers. I guess there's a negative connotation with whistleblowers, but with the term whistleblowers, but it's kind of like targeted individuals. That's what they're called, and they have a lot of important information about corruption in the government, how we need to clean things up so that innocent American lives are not encroached upon. But I just wanted to make a video about how many hopeful things are going on in the target individual community. And actually, before I started making this video, I was like, well, there's so much stuff that's so great. I'm probably gonna miss something. So please target individuals in your comments below. If you have a link or something that's going on, please leave that link. I'll try and get it, cut it out of spam. I'll try and approve those comments. You can go on TalkShoe.com and put in the call ID 141476 to listen to that interview now with Kirk Wiebe and Bill Benny. It was on Thursday night. 141476 call ID, and that's Ella's call. So right now you can go to that pin number on TalkShoe.com to listen to that interview. If you're a target individual or you're a non-TI who's interested in that, I'm going to try and get up, the interview with maybe some pictures on my site. If you are good at posting videos, and you are a TI, please go ahead and post that on your site, or get in touch with me at vulcanwolverine at gmail.com, so you can help me out, because I have some editing software. I do a lot of editing, but it's hard for me to post stuff to YouTube sometimes because my attackers are in all my computers and this phone, so I have a hard time just uploading things on the phone. But if you are good at that, if you can edit things and get them up on YouTube and other social media, please get in touch with me at vulcanwolverine@gmail.com. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and edit something up and get it up, but if you're good at that, we always need people who have specialized talents, who are good with editing, or whatever. We need right now we have conference calls every night that are great. But if you do like to do that sort of thing, you can go on TalkShoe.com and make a profile. Right now, I'm just going to be doing after calls. I'm going to try and fill in, after the regular calls. People usually want an after call because we get attacked. Usually, a lot of people are staying up anyway. So I'm going to kind of focus on that right now. I'm not going to do a regular conference call. I'm going to kind of maybe fill in, for other moderators who need a break. I'm going to kind of be a gap right now, but I may, have a regular conference call, eventually. I'm trying to kind of balance things. If you notice, I haven't been putting a lot of videos out because I've really been doing that. I've been focusing on the conference calls. Tons of great information. Dwight was talking the other night. We had, guest speakers like Dwight Magnum and Brian too. They have a lot of good information. It's so hard to get to all the good information because you stay on those conference calls, and there are a lot of TIs who come on to find coping mechanisms or get help. So if you do need help, please come to those calls, because if we can't help you on the call, if some TIs can't help you, immediately on the calls, we can put you in touch with people. The PAX International website can also do that, and we're taking in calls, 24 hours a day. I haven't started manning the phone, but I'm going to try and start doing that, because for any TIs who are in emergency situations. Like right now, my situation, it sucks. I do get the looping V2K, but I have 12 Q-Wave defenders on, and then I have the Altera plugs, and then I have, some other little defenses. I take a lot of, supplements, Smarty Pants vitamins. I still have Kratom. I think it was taken off the shelves about 2 weeks ago or a week ago, but I bought some backup of that. But as TIs, that's what we do. Like, it's horrible. Like this morning, I got up and I used the bathroom, and the V2K is going. Yesterday, I had to take 2 of my Q-Wave defenders off. When I took them off and I had to recharge them the whole day, I did start feeling more microwaved in my chest and like my body, my head. I started to feel hotter, and a lot more of those microwave signals. Then when I put them back on, I feel a little bit better physically from the physical torture, but I do still hear the V2K because, and this is like, Dwight was talking a little bit about this, there's a lot of bone conduction, there's a lot of different methods that they can go through to make you hear things or experience things or mess with your senses. So, I can get a lot of those microwaves buffered down with my electronic defenses, but they can actually hit you. Like Dwight was saying that he covers his shoulders, and that helps with the V2K, because in the case of his attackers, they're conducting sound through his shoulder bones, and it's going up, and the signal's being caught by his cochlear nerve, and then being transferred to his audio cortex, so that he hears those voices, that V2K, or that high-pitched sound. So I've done a lot of, and they're slamming the door behind me. There's a big hallway right there, and it leads out to the pool. And so I get a lot of people in the condo who want to, harass me. They slam that door right there. So I get a little bit of harassment still around here. But the microwave, like the physical torture, isn't that bad. I did notice, and what Dwight says on the calls, and there's so many great guest speakers. Brian too. I'm going to get to him in a second. But he's saying that he saw a TV show once, it's called Fringe, and I've watched it before. And the guy just said something that kind of made him think, and it makes me think too about a lot of things he was saying that the cochlear nerve is the pathway to mind control. And now I don't think that we can be controlled by this stuff. I do think it's psychological torture, it's conditioning, with microwaves, with synthetic telepathy, remote neural manipulation, things like that. I noticed on the call when Kirk Wiebe and Bill Binney were on, I was so excited because you put those names into Google, they're the second ones down. They're big names, and they believed us. I mean, they totally believe us. They've studied the phenomena. I guess that's the best thing I can say is phenomena. Really, this awful program, where American citizens are being experimented on and tortured. They go out in society and they're harassed by people who think they're fighting terrorism or just know they're harassing people. But they believe us. They know about this. And so, it was either Kirk or Bill who said, we're coming up with a plan right now, so it's good we're getting this information from y'all because we're going to come up with a plan to help y'all. And it gave me goosebumps. I was like, oh my God, I actually got up and I was like, yes, these guys are on our side. They're they're brilliant. And the government screwed them over. I mean, our government screwed them over because they wanted to put safeguards in place to keep American citizens safe, so something like this targeting wouldn't happen. And most of the NSA contractors and people up, high up the ladder, they didn't care. They told one story where they were talking to one of the contractors and saying, well, this isn't going to protect good people. It's not going to have those filters on. And somebody was like, who cares about that? So they were tired of the corruption in the government, and they went through a lot. Like they had FBI's raid them, and they were accused of doing stuff that they didn't do, like a lot of target individuals. But these guys are supporting us. Just a lot of great minds on the conference calls, a lot of target individuals and non-target individuals alike who have ideas about how to fix this, how to solve this problem, because it's a huge problem. And right now, it's like I'm not experiencing a lot of physical pain, but I am, the V2K is still rolling on, because I can block some of those microwave signals, but, they can conduct sound, ultrasound, and infrasound, so that I still hear this stuff, and it still psychologically tortures me. And then they can, on the call, they were doing the high-pitched noise on the call, and it was like priming me. I felt like I was kind of going into a trance. After the call, it felt like they did something with remote neural monitoring because I couldn't feel a beam or anything like that, where it felt like they were squeezing my heart with their hand. Dwight talks a lot about the cochlear nerve. You actually have nerves like occipital nerves and stuff like that, and they can crisscross. So they can do a microwave signal to your cochlear nerve and get to your visual cortex, just like they can maybe hit your eyes and actually get to your auditory cortex. So these nerves all up in our head crisscross, and they access these nerves to do things, to remote neural monitor the brain, to remote manipulate the brain. And Brian too came on this week. He talked a lot. He has a lot of good information. Please look at his channel. About this entrainment of the brain. It's this constant entrainment. They do put toxins in the areas that we're in, and it trains our brain. He said a great thing to do, and I do this, so I know he's right about this. Music, to listen to pleasing music really helps to unentrain your brain. And after only about, like he said, 3 months, you can totally change your frequency if you keep constantly listening to music. So that's a really good thing to do. Brian, too, has so much good information. There's just